Okay, so in this video what we're going to do is have a look at the Excel spreadsheet now. In the email that you get every day you have a link to the downloads page, and if you've just paid for the 1 day you should be able to go straight to this downloads page in the menu. We'll go to the Excel file and download that. Here's one I prepared earlier. These are the ratings for the 26th. And what you have on the very first tab here is your selections. So just like in the online selection, this is exactly the same data. What you've got is the race, the track against the time, and the top rated horse with the confidence. That is the gap between first rated and second rated, and the odds. And there's your second rated horse with the odds. Third rated is 50 to 1 shot. Wouldn't dismiss it. The form comes next, and the confidence in that form, 35%, 36%, that's a lot of confidence. The speed rating, the trainer rating, remember that 50 to 1 shot comes top of the trainer rating in a non-handicap, I wouldn't ignore it. The stallion rating, very good if you're looking at 2-year-old horses, especially in summer. The jockey rating, very good for kind of higher value races. Suitability is the today rating, which looks at the horse's suitability for the race, its track record, distance record, record on the going, etc., etc. Again, the confidence. And then what you've got over here, you've got the most common pick. So a lot of people like to look at which horse is selected most across all of our different ratings. Whether our top rated is the most suited, that's another strong indicator. And whether that is also the form horse, in this case, yes it is. And then the RTH selection is an algorithm that we run on top of all of our other ratings. So it really takes into account the first 3 horses, and it looks at the type of race that we've got. So for example, a non-handicap, we would be looking at the suitability rating and trying to get that more into the calculation. And in this case, Barney Dwan is the RTH selection and top rated. Golden Bird, however, is the RTH selection principally because of this confidence in the suitability rating. Yet if we look across, it's not top rated, it is the second rated horse, and it's worth 14 to 1. So that's exactly the kind of value that we're looking for when we're running this algorithm, is we're not always looking for the favourites. We do have a low confidence on it. I would only stake 1 point, for instance, whereas here I would stake 2, and for Noble Endeavour I would stake 5. And if you look a little bit further across, you've got all that race data, so that you can find out, for example, which horses are running in handicaps and non-handicaps. Of course, non-handicaps is where our strike rate is best, so what you can do is use the filter here and say, I only want to see the non-handicaps by doing that. Get rid of that, and all of a sudden, all you've got left is your non-handicaps. And then if you want only the most confident selections, 4 and 5-star selections, 4-star selections come in about 33%, whereas 5-star is about 50% strike rate. Let's get rid of that. These are our strongest picks for the day. And you've done that yourself because you filtered it. And what we can see is we've got a 4-star at 16 to 1. We've got a 5-star at 10 to 1. So definitely worth further inspection, especially as this horse is top suited, form, and top rated. Therefore, definitely our #1 selection. So let's look at some of the other tabs. The top rated is all of the horses that are top rated in their race, and it's ordered by the time that it's going off. As you go across in this data, you have the full data set. So for Barney Dwan, you can see its last race we gave it a score of 86. its second last race 37, and so on, all the way down to its 10th last race. This is just a number that we use to level out scores when we don't have enough data in, say, these races here. Speed rating, very low in this case. The jockey rating, coloured orange, so the more red that is, the lower it is compared to all of the other horses. Again, trainer, quite low. Stallion, quite low, but its today rating is what really props this one up. 46 is very high, so it's one of the strongest races, and there's its total, and there's its odds, 0.83, obviously the lower the redder, and its official rating. So all of the data is like this. This is the today rating, so all of these horses are sorted according to their suitability for the race. So the most suitable horse in its race for the whole day, going off in the racing post, novice chase, grade 1, is Sizing John, 255 at Leopardstown. You have the same data just for 2-year-olds, the same data just for those in sprint races, and here is all the data. This is where you can start to have a bit of fun. So what we're going to do is find the most consistent horses. This is just to help you start playing around with some of the filters. So I'm going to look for a horse that has an above average score in all of its last 10 races. What this does is it starts to filter down the whole day's race card into those horses that are consistently better than everybody else. And hopefully at the end of it, what we should have is a relatively short list. Still quite a long list, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the other ratings. Above average jockeys, above average trainers. I'm going to leave the stallion rating and I'm just going to focus on the today, do above average. So what I've got is a long shortlist of the horses that are consistently above average. And then what I can start to do is say, all right, let's look at the ones whose last race rating is the highest. So then I'll filter it by descending. That gives me the very top ones at the top. If we do that, what we start to see is that actually Q Card has a better last race rating than Don Cossack. And you see even the second last race was better than Don Cossack. You could argue, therefore, Q Card is in better form than Don Cossack. Jockey ratings are both quite high. You may want to order it by trainer rating. So let's pick trainers that are on form, and there you go. There's a horse that can't lose, but it's Willie Mullins, of course. A good stallion rating, a good today rating, a high total, but very short odds. Of course, this is for the 26th of December, so there's a lot of racing on. So if you do this on a normal day, what you'll probably find is you get a short list of about 10 to 20 horses that are above average. Further on in the spreadsheet, you've got the same data, but just for each individual race. So you can play around with that data exactly the same way. You can start ordering things by top trainer, top jockey, and then go back to your total, do it by total, and then you've got your top 3 rated horses here. And again, of course, 60% of the winners come from these 3. And you've got the data for every race of the day, just like that, to play around with exactly as you want. A few Excel tips that you might find around the internet might help you, but hopefully this little video has given you a steer on what you can get out of your spreadsheet.